Welcome to Boys episode 178. I'm Robbie Ray.
I'm Josh.
And we are here with another fun-filled episode for all you boys and girls. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. We're going to get right to the show, but first, a bit of business. BoysPodcast.com. It's a hub of all things boys. There you will find links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as that golden donate button. Hit it.
No smashing.
No, I've outgrown it.
You've outgrown smashing?
I'm going back to hit that donate button. Send us a few bucks if you like what you hear week after week.
Okay, boomer.
Gunk.
Gunk.
I hate it. Like I said last week, memes are getting so played out so quick. Anytime I see okay, boomer.
Dude,
I hate it.
Memes used to be able to last like at least like, what, a month?
Yeah, a month.
Now it's like,
Give
it 2 days.
2
and
days.
It's like, fucking, I'm over it.
Yep.
And that's the whole point. And they keep pushing the okay, boomer. The more you get mad about it. Like,
I know.
Someone said okay, boomer to me. I'm like, I'm 37,
I'm
dude.
not a boomer.
I'm technically a millennial.
Technically. What's worse than being technically a millennial?
Between Gen X and millennial, it's the worst.
Disgusting. But yeah, hit that donate button if you like what you hear. Send us a few bucks. It'd help out with some things around the Boys studio.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
We're a man without a country there on that one. Boys is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify. On Spotify, search us all one word, all lowercase, Boys Podcast. That will bring up every single episode we've done. Once you're there, click on that subscribe button. Subscribe to us there.
Don't smash it?
I'm not going to smash it. Smash the patriarchy. Click the button. Go to YouTube. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe there. The more subscribers we get, the more YouTube. You know, I've been hearing a lot of things about YouTube lately.
Oh,
though.
yeah. It's I hate to be a doomsday naysayer.
Yeah.
But I hear from some very reliable sources that YouTube might slowly be turning the corner to not a good place to be. Now, we're on YouTube, as discussed.
You can find us there for now.
But I'm ready. Just like I used to jump ship from social media to social media, like what was it called? Vero?
Oh, yeah.
Google
Plus.
Plus.
That?
Oh, man. Google Plus. What a gooder.
Really worked out.
But yeah, we're on YouTube for now until we get demonetized.
Demonetized or pulled from the, they've been like dropping people's channels.
You know what? We need to be monetized before we can be demonetized.
Monetize us.
One step at a time.
One step over the edge. Subscribe.
Email us, boys@boyspodcast.com. Send us a little feedback. Put your physical address in the bottom of the email. We'll send you out some free stickers. Gave some stickers out this weekend.
We did.
Sent a few out this week. Felt really good. So thank you all for the feedback, the tips, the tricks, the techniques.
Ooh, I like it.
The love. Thank you so much.
Also, thank you to our sponsors, sponsored Anthem Brewing. That slow crack.
That was crisp.
Slow crack of the Anthem. Located at 908 Southwest 4th Street. That's the tap room. You can go in, I believe it's like 6 days a week. I need to get their actual hours. They might change it for the holidays. New beers on tap. Tell them boys sent you. They'll probably give you a smooch. Me too?
Yeah.
AnthemBrewing.com. FatBison.com, maker of great wood. It's the holiday season. It's right upon you. Before you know it, man, it's going to be Christmas.
I saw he posted yesterday, old Matt at Fat Bison, good friend of the show. There's still time to get in the queue for a holiday wood. So, do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Wait, has that been taken?
Just do it. Remember that?
How about Fat Bison? I'm loving it.
I like it.
How about Fat Bison? We'll leave the light on for you.
Just take them all.
I can keep going.
Fat Bison. Have you had your break today?
Damn, that's like old school. That's going back. How about Fat Bison? Have it your way. With custom signs.
Great. It's probably not TM'd anymore. You can probably use that. Champion Vintage, champion _vintage OKC on Instagram. Holidays are upon you. If you're a true lefty, you don't want to promote capitalism. You want to reuse. Global warming. The world is ending. Buy used goods. Buy good used goods from Champion Vintage OKC. I don't know. Something like that. That works.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
The world is ending.
Well, What are we down to, like 11 months now?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've been watching too much of The Watchmen, the Doomsday Clock thing, it's...
Time is ticking.
It is, into the future.
Lastly, thank you for the donations, the feedback, the telling of a friend, the sharing, the caring, the love and joy from your ears to our mouths week after week. We really appreciate you. If you appreciate us, call up the boys hotline, 405-582-0242. Again, that's 405-582-0242. Leave us a message. We might just play it on the show. Lastly, it's wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Head's getting cold.
Gotta cover that noggin.
Get you a boys hat. A beautiful black hat with a salmon boys logo emblazoned on the front.
Yeah.
Tasteful size. Tasteful bill shape. Beautiful hat. We've only got a couple left. $20. DM us on Instagram @BoysPodcast. Hit us up on Twitter @TweetsOfBoys. Hit us up on Facebook, Boys Podcast. Hit us up via email, boys@boyspodcast.com. If you're in the Oklahoma City area, we'll hook you up. We'll figure out a way to meet up and hand off the goods.
We'll figure it out.
If you're outside of Oklahoma City, a couple extra bucks for shipping. We'll get you a hat right out while they last.
You know what? If you're out of state, we'll ship it to you. Guess what we're going to throw in that package? A couple of these sweet boy stickers.
A severed head?
Is that if it's a severed head, I'm gonna be very upset.
Oh, dude, we're gonna get into all of that.
All of that.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'll tell you what. Without further ado, on to the show. Okay, we're here, and I want to kick off the show with a hot topic, and I ain't talking the mall.
What's that?
We're a little late to talk about this, but we've been so busy. It's kind of the first chance I've got to really sit back and reflect on things. And that thing, among things, is, as of November 1st, constitutional carry passes in Oklahoma.
Yeah, boy, have we been seeing a lot of photos of people. Actually, I saw today a man was arrested for bringing an AR-15 into a restaurant because you can't do that.
Yeah. I read somewhere that the law is if the establishment makes over 50% of their revenue
in alcohol
from
sales.
alcohol sales, yes, that it is illegal to bring a gun
to the
onto the premises, into the premises, however you want to put it.
Right.
I find it interesting that it's 50%. And how do you measure that? Like, do you go, all right, pull up QuickBooks. Let's take a look at the last fiscal year. Let's really break this down. Here's the deal, man. I am a proud Second Amendment advocate. Josh, you know this.
Oh, I know.
I think some of our listeners know that. I love guns. They're fun. Guns equal
love guns.
Fun.
They're fun.
They are fun. They're fun to shoot. They're fun to clean.
Fun to hold.
Fun to hold. They're fun to carry.
I'll say this, man. There's a reason why, as a young boy, or even if you're a little girl and you like playing with toy guns, like it's fun to pretend to kill things.
Absolutely. It's so funny. In preparation for our sketch that we did last Saturday, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, I went to I made a thrift store run around 4 thrift stores around my house. Last minute, kind of panicked a little bit, and I was like, I got to get some old faded Levi's that I can like blow the knees out of to truly conjure the spirit of Wayne Campbell. And so I go to this Goodwill kind of by my house, our house is, we don't live together. As I'm standing in line to check out with some jeans that I ended up not wearing because they weren't right, it was a panic buy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done that many times.
Oh, yeah. I've got for my outfit, I bought 3 different shirts. Finally settled on one that I already had in my closet.
Yep. You ended right where you started. Full circle. So I'm standing in line at the thrift store, and I look over in one of the, most thrift stores have like glass display cases at the front where they put the good shit.
Oh, the choice stuff.
Yeah, the real choice nugs. And I look over and I'm like, what in the hell? It was an AR-15 in the glass case. And me being the 2A guy that I am.
At a thrift thrift store?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone, hold on, my mind is going. So someone's cleaning out their closet, Eminem style, and he pulls like, hell, I got 3 of these, and throws it in like a donate box with like a pair of Levi's, some like old dishes,
Like an old Christmas tree.
Fuck it, put it all in there.
So I go up and look at it because I'm like, what? That's odd. And I go up and I look, and I'm like, okay, is this like an airsoft gun or something?
Right.
You know, and I'm looking and I'm like really inspecting. I don't ask for assistance because I don't want to be that guy that asked to see an AR-15 at a thrift store. And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, like that's pretty nice looking especially for a thrift store. You
Right.
know? I know, I've been in the thrifting game a long time, as have you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you find a find.
Yeah.
And those finds are what keep you going. What put fuel in the tank.
Are you trying to say you bought an AR-15 from a thrift store?
No, I did
not.
No. Don't need another one. Got plenty. I'm looking, I'm like, it was blowing my mind. I was no way.
Can't be real.
So I'm looking, and I'm trying to find any sign of this thing being a toy.
Like something that says like Daisy or something on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there was no orange tip.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, it looked like it was made out of metal.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get up to the counter, I ask the young lady working, I'm like, what's the deal with the weapon of war in the glass case over there? And she's like, oh, it's a paperweight. And I was like, what? I thought she was joking around.
Yeah. That's a giant ass paperweight.
What? Where? How? Where are you going to find paper that big? Is what I want to know. And I said, really? And she said, well, I don't know if it's a paperweight, but it's a toy. And I was like, holy shit. Fooled me.
Yeah.
Fooled me once, fooled me twice.
Yeah.
I thought they were selling a fucking gun at the thrift store.
I'll say this. If it fooled you, I'm assuming if you walked out of that with in your hand, cops would have been called.
Absolutely. Dude, it looked
It's a
real.
paperweight!
Now, I don't know the weight of it.
Sure.
I don't know, like if you flip it over, maybe the back of it was like clearly marked that it was a toy or something.
Sure.
But it looked so real, and it totally threw me for a loop, and I thought it was crazy.
That is nuts.
Going back to this constitutional carry, though, like I said a minute ago, I love 2A.
Mm-hmm.
They call me the 2A kid. However, I don't know if it was the best move to make that a thing.
No, because just what we thought would happen happened. Just fucking, I'm going to say it, boomers. Some old dudes came out of the woodwork like, finally. And they go to like fucking, some tchotchke-laden restaurant or Walmart with a weapon strapped to their chest.
Or the zoo.
The zoo.
Yeah.
Like, I get having like a pistol on you. Someone who needs to carry an automatic rifle strapped to their person in front of them and walk around like your big stuff, that's the equivalent of having like a truck that's jacked up. Like, it's little dick energy.
Absolutely. I like that. Little dick energy.
It's like, come on, dude.
It totally is. Like, as much as I believe in the right, I don't know if you should walk into a Twin Peaks with an AR-15 strapped to your chest.
Mm-hmm.
It looks crazy.
You look like a nutbag.
And I think there is a huge difference between concealed carry and open carry.
Yes.
Like, as much as I love the sport of guns, when I see an open carry, even if it's like an old man in Walmart with like a 9 on his hip, I always make a double take. I'm always kind of like, huh? What? Why? Huh?
Well, because my thing is, open carry, it does the opposite of what your mind would think. If open carry makes me think that guy wants to use that.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I've seen before in public where someone would have like a gun where like that on the back, but it's in like a
holster?
A holster, but it's in the back of their pants. They'll lean up to grab something and you'll see them like, oh, of course. That's the law. You have to do it that way. But if you have like a 9mm strapped on your hip right next to your fucking Nokia phone, which it usually is, and an AR-15, like, you're wanting to fire one of those.
Do you see the Venn diagram I wrote on the wall here?
Oh,
so, one circle is gun strapped to the belt.
Right.
And then the other circle is Nokia cell phone on belt.
Yeah.
It's one circle.
Yeah, it's the same.
You're never going to see one without the other.
Right.
Oh,
I'm sure there's got to be some, gun accessory company that knows their demo audience and is like, why don't we just build a cell phone holder into the holster?
Yeah, right there.
2 for 1.
Dude, if they haven't created that, I think it's damn time we should.
Hop on it.
We're getting rich. We're going on Shark Tank. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I get conceal carry.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is like, let's say, hypothetically, one day I decided to start conceal carrying.
Right.
I think that's so much cooler because you're not advertising that, hey, I think I'm a badass.
Yeah.
Everybody look at my gun. But if the shit ever hit the fan and you lifted up that shirt and you pulled a gun out of your waistband, an interior.
Yeah, like, well, it's in the waistband. It's right next to your puffy boxers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and your dicky pants.
To me, that's like cooler than constantly displaying the fact.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the logic of those people is that a good guy with a gun will always defeat a bad guy with a gun. Like, if I walk into this Starbucks and my weapon is on display, if someone wants to come in and rob this place, they're going to think twice.
Right.
No, they're not.
What if the bad guy grabs the good guy's gun? That's the other thing.
Boom. What if the bad guy sees your gun before you see him and he just shoots you in the head?
Yeah, it's like a target on your back. He's taking you out first because you were going to save the day.
Right.
Not anymore.
You did.
You did. You can't take out a bad guy with a bullet in your brain.
It's just impossible. It's physically impossible.
It's crazy. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up shortly.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's pretty crazy. I'm really interested to see the data maybe like a year from now.
Yeah, it's still new. It's still fresh.
To see if gun violence escalates or falls or stays the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything's kind of relative, I think. I think everything usually, like, one thing will weigh out another thing or even each other out over time. But I'm really curious. Now, I haven't personally seen an AR-15
in the wild
strapped to, Sugar Bear's belly in the wild.
I've seen pictures of it locally. People have posted on like Instagram and Facebook of like, this guy was seen south, and it's always south side at some south side location or memorial. It's either like some like Edmond dad or some like south side dad. Mm-hmm. And I want to be strapped. And they always look in the picture like they're not there to purchase anything. They're not consumers. They're just there to be seen with a weapon on them.
Yeah.
Like, check me out. Don't fuck with me. And I don't want to assume anything, but if I were a betting man, if you went back with them to their pickup truck, they turn on the car, and David Allan Coe would start playing.
Oh, wow.
They're just those kind of guys.
Right.
I'm just assuming.
I like to call them hard R users.
Hard R users.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that thinly veiled racism when they're like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the bad guy. I'm doing air quotes here. Mm-hmm. When the bad guy comes, like, we know what picture you're painting with your words.
Exactly.
You toothless fuck. Anyways, speaking of dads, I was talking to Kate the other night and just kind of like expressing my thoughts out loud and just having a chat before bed. And I was like,
pillow talk.
Why am I tired all the time? Why do I enjoy naps so much on the weekends? Mm-hmm. Why do I catch a little shut-eye on the couch every now and then? And I was like, oh, shit, I'm a dad.
It hit you.
It hit me for the first time. Mm-hmm. Kate and the little one have lived here for quite a while at this point.
Yeah.
They moved in, January?
They're closing in on a year there.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, I was like, holy shit, this is the first time I realized I'm taking those dad naps. I'm sure you remember being a kid. And
oh, yeah.
What's the classic thing? Dad falls asleep watching football on a Sunday afternoon?
Well, my dad wasn't a sportsman. He would come home from work, eat dinner, and then he would sit on his recliner. So, I don't know if your dad did this. Did your dad change from his daily clothes to his lounging clothes? Or did he just kind of stay in what he worked in?
He usually stayed in his, my dad, I've never seen my dad in pajamas, come to think about it.
Oh, my dad didn't wear pajamas. My dad was a military man, so he came home in his fatigues, his work clothes, and he would eat dinner. And
in the fatigues?
Sometimes he would just get down to just the shirt and pants.
Okay.
Then, after dinner, he'd go to his room, and he'd come out wearing just cut-off jean shorts.
Nice.
That is it. and then he'd
No shirt. Okay.
plop on that recliner, kick it back. That sound, that clink.
Yep. Oh yeah. And they would go click, 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 click when it'd go back too far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Just ate dinner, but he has a sleeve of saltines, and he's just watching TV, TGIF or whatever the hell is on.
Sure.
But then he'd nap a lot.
So a post-dinner nap.
Post-dinner nap, and then, dude, on weekends it was a lot of napping.
Dude,
he worked his ass off. He woke up like 4:35 in the morning every day for work, and then on the weekends he'd wake up still at those hours. I never saw my dad sleep in ever.
Yeah,
but he's working. But when he's done working, that's when I wake up. So he'd be done at 11, and that's when I'm 12, getting up to do my day.
Right.
He's napping in the recliner.
Well, I got to thinking about it for a while, and I think being an accidental dad is kind of cool.
An accidental dad?
Yeah, because it just it wasn't this slow process where I'm like, oh, shit. It's just like, it just dawned on me the other night.
There's two different accidental dads.
Right.
You got the best end, I think.
I got the good end of the accidental dad. But, I'm fully embracing it. I love what I'm doing. Yeah. I love the fruits of my labor.
So is your next step to buy a lazy boy? Have you thought about it? Have you thought about getting a recliner?
I totally have. Now, we got a new couch, I don't know, 6 months ago. And our living room's set up kind of weird, and it's kind of small. So we don't have a ton of room. And our couch is very long. It's like low profile. It's kind of like modern looking, but it's super comfy.
Yeah, fluffy.
And we have this like old green, like 70s. I don't know what you'd call that fabric.
Like an armchair. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, like what's kind of not corduroy, but
kind of a cross between like corduroy and like velour.
Yeah,
maybe. And it's like that nasty 70s like avocado green.
Yeah,
and I love it. It's short. It rocks a little bit. It also twists.
But you know what it doesn't do? Kick out that.
No, it doesn't. Now, when we went to look at couches, I started to get on the hunt. I was like, I want to find the perfect recliner. I don't want one of those huge, overstuffed, they look like a seashell kind of.
No, you don't want one of those.
And I don't want anything like super small. But our buddy Colin, I remember this chair like it was yesterday. His dad handed him down a leather lazy boy.
Was it the lazy boy that we were not allowed to sit in at his house?
No, I think his dad had one of those Eames chairs, or maybe like an Eames style chair. I don't remember to answer your question, but eventually this chair that I'm talking about got handed down to Colin, and he had it at his old house, and it was the perfect recliner because it was leather, which is awesome because it's like cool in the summer,
hot in the winter,
kind of gets you, kind of retains the heat in the winter, and it was small. It was weird. It was like. It wasn't overstuffed, and it wasn't a huge frame, but it had that classic click when you open it up. It sounds like a drawbridge opening, like it's like a mechanism, And it reclined, and I took a few naps in that chair. Like when I'd go down to visit, I'd like just nap in the chair, like a midday after we got up and did our running around.
It's like a 30-minute hour nap.
Like came back home, like Colin would like go get on his computer and all right, I'm just gonna chill for a little bit before we go out at night. And man, I fell in love with that chair. So much so that when he eventually sold it, I really thought about driving to Austin to buy it. Like that's how much I loved the chair.
Damn.
Now, if you know anything about Colin and his dad, he always has and does take really good care of his stuff.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
He's a minimal guy, clean, tidy, well put together. This chair was no exception. And I had my eye on that lazy boy from the moment I set my cheeks on it.
Did you have a truck at the time?
Yeah.
You totally could have done it.
I know, dude. I wanted it so bad. So I was looking for a recliner like that. So we went to Mathis Brothers. We went to...
When I went with you?
Well, one of the times, because I went a few times shopping.
Well, when I'm with you the first go around, when you were kind of eyeing things, I was walking around looking for stuff too. And then we got to the recliner section. A sales lady had kind of cornered you. And I was looking at recliners. I was like sitting in them and doing the test. You got to do wait. How quickly does it plop?
Oh, okay. Is that the test?
Yeah. How does it how does it recline? Does it go too far back? Does it recline enough? And once in recline mode, does it give you optimum comfort?
Right.
And the same thing. Can't be too big. Can't be too small. It's a Three Little Bears situation.
Right.
And they had that at the store. It was like they were the economical recliners.
Okay.
And then they had the deluxe ones, which it's too much. You want it right in the middle.
Just right.
Just right.
Well, I couldn't find anything. So honestly, that's the only reason I don't own one yet. But what I'm thinking about doing is getting rid of that avocado green vintage chair.
I'll take it off your hands.
That thing is in great condition.
Yeah.
It looks perfect.
Yeah.
And it's pretty comfy, but it doesn't recline.
Yeah.
And if I'm an accidental dad, I need to get a recliner.
Gotta have one.
But it has, man, it has to be just right.
It's gotta be the right one.
Like, I don't want like a real tree one.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Or like a OU crimson.
Yeah. No.
It has to be small, but comfy.
Right. A nice sedan, a nice 4-door sedan type.
Dude, I could talk about recliners.
Dude,
all night.
my dad always had a nice recliner in the house, and my mom had her recliner. That was cool about my parents. They had their little nook where they did their stuff together, but separate, not talking to each other. Now my dad has this. I'm sure your dad has one of these too. It's remote. It's digital.
Okay.
It's got a massager inside of it.
Whoa, no.
Heated. Dude, this thing is plush as fuck.
That's awesome.
Nice. But he's always in it. I guarantee you, if we were to get in your car, drive to my dad's house right now, guess where he'd be?
Firmly planted in that recliner.
Planted in the recliner watching live PD. Is that the shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He loves that shit.
I do too.
So,
see, Dad.
I like his chair, but that's too much for me. Maybe when I'm in my late 60s, I'll want one of those.
Yeah.
But for now, I want to get one too. But my house is small, so I have to keep it small. Either I have to get 2 recliners and that's it, or a couch and that's it. That's how fucking small my house is.
I feel like you got to have a couch, though.
Got to have a couch. For guests that never come over. You always do that. Well, what if we entertain? You're never going to entertain.
Yeah. We don't entertain here.
Just in case.
Just in case. Or what if it's a Sunday afternoon? The yard's been mowed. The New Balances have been cleaned. They're back to their bright white that they were when you bought them. The day you bought them.
Get out of that shower. All you want to do is maybe crack open a beer and just lay on that couch and plop on something random.
Yeah. Maybe Netflix.
Maybe
and
some
chill. Sports.
Netflix and chill with yourself.
It's the best kind, man.
It is the best kind.
Yeah, I think I can see a recliner in my future. I just got to find the right one.
I think it's right on there on the horizon.
And I'm really scared of buying one on Craigslist.
You don't know. Here's the thing. Used furniture is a young man's game. My wife and I are looking for a couch. And we've done like the Craigslist route. We've bought new. But I think the next one we're going to get, we went down to Texas to go see The Locust, which was a really great show. Good experience. We got upgraded at our hotel. That's always a good.
Ooh.
You ever have that?
I do. When it comes to travel and things like that happening, it just doesn't exist for me.
Dude, we pulled in.
Much like shrimp.
I walk into the thing. The guy's like, "Hi." I'm like, "I have a reservation. Last name Montgomery." He goes, "Okay, cool." And he looks up. He goes, "Let me see." He's like, "I can upgrade you." It's like, "Okay, cool." He's like, "I mean, unless you want that tiny room." I'm like, "No." So he upgraded to this like nice big room. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So on the way back up, we hit up IKEA because we need a couch because our cat has destroyed our couch. That's what cats do.
Oh, yeah.
But, when she snuggles up on your chest, like, oh.
Makes it all worth it.
But you destroyed my couch. So we had a couch in mind. We wanted to go look at it and sit on it so you know how it feels. Because it's like IKEA furniture, you never fucking know.
Right.
It could be a cardboard box.
Usually shitty.
And the one we went to look at, we looked at, and it felt fine. But right around the corner from it, something caught my eye. And it's giant. It's considered a sofa bed.
Okay.
But it was the most comfortable and it was $200 cheaper than the other one. So I want to get that. But it's massive.
Like how big are we talking?
Boy. I think I measured it and it was 8 feet by 8 feet. So it's 8 feet wide, 8 feet long.
Damn.
It's a big couch, but it has these little backers on it that are weighted on the bottom. So you can scoot it up and make it like a couch, or you can scoot them to the back and it's kind of like a bed.
That's pretty dope. If room allows.
If room allows. Can't have it in my house.
Right.
But while I was there, looking at chairs. You don't want an IKEA recliner.
No. I need something a little nicer.
But to go to what you were saying, you don't want to buy another man's recliner.
See, and that's the thing is like, I feel like a recliner used is way more gross than a couch used. I don't know why, because I think more people fuck on couches than recliners.
Here's the thing. They're going to fuck on a couch, but they're going to fart in a recliner.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
That dad's going to fart in that recliner.
How many farts do you think your dad has launched in his latest recliner?
Oh, boy. If I were a
Thousands?
man, million, probably.
A million?
A million. Dude.
That's a shitload of farts.
My dad's diet is not what we would say optimum.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of farting.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and plus you want it to be yours. You want to. A friend of mine just had a kid, and he was talking about he wanted to buy a guitar to hand it down to her whenever she's old enough. But he wanted to buy like a vintage Gibson J40, I think.
Oh, that's nice.
He made the decision of, no, I'm going to get a 2019. That way, when she's old enough, it'll be the year she was born. Like, oh, that's sweet. So
that's
about,
great.
Heirloom items. So what you need to do, you need to get yourself a 2020 recliner.
Okay.
And then you can hand it down
right
to your child one day.
Sure.
Then they can have your hand, or, you know, I mean, but you always get hand-me-down. When I first moved out of my house for the first time, my parents gave me a couch and I think a chair or two. You have like that hand-me-down furniture, mostly to so your parents have an excuse to buy new shit.
Exactly. I've been meaning to upgrade.
Well, take this sleeper sofa. That's just the worst thing to fucking haul ever.
Yeah. Hey, let's carry that up 3 flights of stairs.
That sounds awesome.
Dude, that sounds awful.
Is anything more 90s than a sleeper sofa as furniture-wise? Like
no, they're not comfortable.
No.
The mattress is terrible.
They're not comfortable as couches. They're not comfortable as beds. It's kind of a waste.
I agree.
And they're super heavy.
It's like, just sleep on the sofa.
Right?
I mean, I guess if it's more than one person.
My mom would never let us sleep on the couch. If I accidentally fell asleep on the couch late night, I would get scolded. Well, you're going to... The cushions!
Dude, what? I remember that growing up, too. I got a new bed when I was probably like... It was that fateful day in a young boy's life where you get upgraded from the twin.
Yep.
Sometimes to a full, but I got upgraded to a queen.
Dude, you jumped.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
And I remember my TV was on a shelf at the foot of the bed. And I would sit on the edge of the bed and play like PlayStation at the time, whatever it was. And I remember my stepmom was like, "Don't sit on the edge of that bed, you're going to ruin it." And I was like, "It's a bed. It's made to be used."
Yeah.
And I remember that too, like, don't sit on the couch that way, or don't sit too close to the TV. All this bullshit.
Yeah. Don't lay on the couch. Why?
Yeah.
The body weight distribution. Like, dude, couches are meant to be laid on.
Yeah. You're getting use out of it.
The fuck?
Like, don't sit on the edge of the edge of the bed. Like,
now I get don't sit in your dad's recliner. That's not because you're going to fuck it up. It's because that's dad's recliner.
And he needs his spot when he comes home from work.
Yeah. You can, oh, I've done that before. Or my dad walks in, doesn't even say anything. Like, he's going to sit there regardless if you're in it or not. So you got to like plop up real quick.
Yeah.
And then he plops right back down.
Yep. You just warming it up for him.
Warm it up.
So yeah, I don't know. I think a recliner is in my future. I'm excited about that. I got to find the perfect one though.
Got to be the right one.
It just sucks 'cause I don't have a truck anymore. So it's like I have to get it delivered or find a friend with a truck, which is funny because I was thinking about that when it comes to my bike. Because I need to take my bike to the dealership because I got a fucking nail in the tire last weekend. So cool. Bike's not even a month old. Maybe a month at this point.
I've never gotten a nail. I've owned a couple of bipedal
vehicles,
automotive vehicles, and I've never gotten a nail on a tire. Thank God,
dude. So annoying. Yeah. So Saturday, we caught a nice day on Saturday. Beautiful day, beautiful weekend to be honest.
Yeah, it was a great weekend.
And long story short, I had to go run a quick errand, and the place I went was over by my old house. So I was like, man, fuck, this is a perfect excuse. I'm going to hop on the old Z125 and zip on over there. And I go, I get my business done, and I come back, and I'm cleaning up my bike. I'm like wiping it down, you know. I'm still in that honeymoon period where like I'm like,
you're loving it.
I'm loving it. And I clean the rims on the front tire, getting everything showroom floor. And then I moved to the back, and bam, big old drywall nail sticking out. And I thought, how long was I fucking driving on that thing?
Was the head of the nail out, or was it?
It was out and bent.
Ooh,
like, yeah, there was like a little bit of shaft and then a bend and then the head. Pulled it out, the tire made a little bit of a
Hiss? Yeah.
for just like 1 second and then stopped.
How long was the nail?
2 inches.
Okay, so there's a bit of the nail in the tire.
Yeah, I'd say about an inch in,
Okay.
inch out.
I don't know if maybe with just enough like a surface, but
I know. I wish, man. I wish.
the problem with those bike tires is you can't tell when it deflates.
I know. And that's the thing is I left it. I pulled it up on my back patio to like work on it, and I like let it sit out all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to put it up that night, I sat on it and I looked at the tire, and it didn't look flat, but I ain't getting out on the road in that.
No, because dude, you get a nail in your tire in a car, like shit.
You got 3 other wheels to rely on.
You're gonna know. You're not gonna like slide all over the damn unless you have a blowout. In that case,
Right.
Fuck. But on a motorcycle, you got the one. So if that goes out, it could be a very, very, very dangerous thing. So you got to go get that shit fixed. Well, changed out.
But now I'm in a bit of a quandary because
Bit of a pickle
how do I get my bike to the show or to the dealership
without riding it.
without riding it? Could I top it off and hope for the best?
I mean, maybe. Have you tried doing a nose? So your back tire, right?
Uh-huh.
Do a nose wheelie and just ride that the
whole way.
Well, but you can't because it's rear propelled.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. The trials and tribs of the motorcycle kid.
Well, maybe you should invest maybe a little, what are they called? Those, the bike trailer. Get you one of those.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do one of those.
I think my bike's so small I could fit it in the back of my car.
Yeah, you have to put I would take all the gas out of it though, because the shit might leak.
Good
I did
call.
that when my wife and I, before we were married, we moved out of the apartment complex we lived in. We moved to a house. We had a U-Haul, and I had a scooter. And I was like, well, I don't really want to ride the scooter all the way to where we're going.
Yep.
Let's just put it in the back of the U-Haul. Not thinking. Didn't even strap it down.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I can just lay it on its side. And I did. And then guess what? You open that thing and it just smells like gas.
Did gas get all over your other shit?
Well, no, that was the last thing we took.
Oh, okay.
And it was everywhere. But we dropped it off at the house. I was like, I should have just fucking... Actually, we didn't ride it because the tags were like so far out of date that I didn't want to risk like
Right.
getting pulled over or whatever. So we took it to a car wash, lifted the back door up, and just hosed that bitch out.
That's good enough.
Who knows what they're going to charge you?
Yeah, totally.
So maybe you're the Amazon kid. You could probably find one of those things that you could put on the back of a car that you can put like a bike on or something.
Yeah, they do make those. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I hope you get that bike thing figured out.
Thanks, me too. Luckily it's cold as fuck out now, and I won't be really probably doing any riding for the next few weeks, so I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, get on some forums. Maybe they can tell you how to...
Good call.
Yeah.
So last weekend we had a big thing happen that we were a part of.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to touch on it for a minute.
Oh, sure.
So why don't you explain, I know we talked about it on last week's show, but a little recap, if you will.
So James Nim and Mike Allen do these art shows that are themed. Generally, I think like twice a year they do them.
Okay.
And this last one was SNL themed. That is Saturday Night Live themed art show. The menu that's based on, and the menu is really cute.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty funny. And they did a live sketch show, and then upstairs was art, and there was a band and a DJ and all kinds of stuff. And James asked us to be a part of it and do a sketch. So we obliged and figured we'd do a Wayne's World sketch.
Yep.
So we wrote a sketch, put it together, and then
got the costumes. And
I think both of us last minute started getting real, like, total anxiety.
Yeah.
And I always get that with live performances, even being in a band or whatever. Like being on a podcast, I'm sitting behind a microphone right now. I'm just talking to you, really.
Yeah, you're just sitting in my house shooting the shit.
But I know there's a bunch of people out there listening to us.
Millions.
Because one of them was at the show, which was very nice. Shout out to Cisco.disco on Instagram. Francisco. He and his lady friend were sitting at the bar. Before the show started, I was working. And he was talking to me about, his drink order. And he said something about the show. I was like, oh, you mean the live show? He's like, no, boys. I'm like, oh, we have no mutual friends. He's just a fan of the show.
That's awesome.
Super awesome.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah, and he talked about it's like his favorite episodes and things like that. But it was really cool. So gets down to the actual show.
Mm-hmm.
It felt, did you feel, I felt like a very small morsel of what it must feel like to actually do SNL.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like hectic and like there was a set designer like putting things up in between things. It's like, go, 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 go. Okay, you're up. And we had like a list, a showrunner list of like how it's going to go. And you and I were like, oh, we got plenty of time. There's like 3 sketches and a weekend update before we go on. And it felt like that before we were on.
Like before I knew it, we were walking up there to do our skit.
Yeah, dude, so nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and I'll kind of add to what you said earlier. So we got our costumes, we wrote the skit, we recreated like the Wayne's World top 10 board, which I thought went over pretty well.
Yeah.
And then so we got that all ready. We're practicing the skit. I felt pretty confident about it. We had our questions like, oh, is this gonna be too like, I don't know the right word, but like unwoke,
Right.
Because we did a list of top 10 babes from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Which is a very Wayne's World thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, straight out of the Wayne's World playbook. And then we kind of started second guessing like, oh, I hope nobody thinks this is too sexist, which all the jokes were juvenile.
Yeah.
We were just overthinking it. But yeah, day of the show, man. I mean, you and I were texting back and forth. Like, I'm gonna give you a little peek behind the curtain, faithful listener. We almost canceled.
Yeah.
We almost backed out of it. I was so nervous. Like, I was having like heart palpitations.
Dude, I was sitting on my couch, my cat-destroyed couch, literally doing breathing techniques. Because I was like, fuck. Because my mind was just racing of like, what if nobody laughs at all?
Exactly.
What if it's just dead silence? What if somebody says something in the middle of our
yell something out?
Yeah. Fuck!
Yeah. All the nerves were kicked in, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to thrift stores trying to find jeans like a crazy person, getting faked out by toy guns.
Oh, that last minute. I almost did it too. Like, no, it's got to be perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I will say this, man. We did it. We were the last sketch of the night.
Yeah.
I thought it went over pretty well, man.
Me too, dude. Especially knowing what both of us went through that day, like just emotionally for it. And like we were both freaking out. You had these note cards to like kind of keep yourself on track. Those got lost.
Dude, that's what added the insult to injury.
Yeah.
I made note cards to kind of help me stumble through because I'm terrible at memorizing shit. And yeah, I made these note cards because, like in the Wayne's World movie, there's a scene where Wayne has these blue note cards. And I happen to have note cards that looked exactly like that. So I was like, there's my out.
Yeah.
He has it in the skit. I can have the note cards. I can read off the note cards. Less to memorize, less to worry about. Yeah. We go. So I borrowed a white Strat from my boss at work. And we had the whole stage set up. We did the Wayne's World theme song at the beginning and end of the skit. The board was looking great. We were looking great as Wayne and Garth. But yeah, right before we go on, I reach into my gig bag to get my note cards, and they are not there.
Dude.
And that's when I had my second wind.
I saw it in your eyes. I saw it in your eyes, and you go, I'm like, I'll look at you and go, is everything okay? You go, my note cards are gone. And you tried to play it off like, no, it's fine. Like, we can make new ones. No, it's cool. And just like your eyes just got so big. I'm like, oh, are we going to be okay?
Yeah. Well, we got up there. We did it.
Yeah.
Like I said, last skit of the night. So I think some of the applause had to do with that. But we got a really good reaction. I heard the laughs. I heard the claps. I saw there were a shitload of people there.
So many people.
And I'll tell you what, man, even though I got really, really nervous and we almost backed out, I'm really glad we didn't. Because there's something to be said for facing a fear and going through with it.
100%. That was my exact. So as soon as like the first round of laughter hit, my thought was, I'm so fucking glad we did this.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta power through that shit.
Yes, man. And it was to me, it was like a growing experience. It was like, all right, I proved it to myself that we could do this, and we did it, and we got a good response. So it just felt good, man.
Yeah. Well, and then afterwards, like, I got so many people saying how like authentic we looked, how funny it was. Man, you guys both got down, like, you nailed it. Like, thanks.
Yeah, man, it was really nice. And what's cool is, so on our Instagram @BoysPodcast, I posted a photo of you and I dressed up as Wayne and Garth. The number one most liked post that we've ever posted on Instagram. As of now, 87 likes. And I know that's small potatoes when you're talking Instagram thoughts and T models and celebrities. Ain't too bad for boys, though.
For a podcast in general, like, you know, like...
It felt good.
It's a picture of us dressed as Wayne and Garth.
Yeah. And then after that, I posted a quick video that Kate took of just the outro song.
Yeah.
And you can just see, like, you can see the crowd. You can hear people clapping. It just, you know, I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn here, but it just felt good, man.
It felt really good.
If there's any takeaway from this, if you're facing a fear, you know, just do it. Just do it, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel good at the end.
Do it and damn the consequences. Like, let's say it didn't go well. Let's say it went terrible. Let's say no one laughed and some blue-haired feminist yells, "You're a feminist!"
Just flapping those arms.
Yeah, and getting mad, like, triggered. All you can do from that is go, well, okay, now I'll know next time to maybe cut back on a joke about Mary Fallon.
It was fine.
It was fine. Everything was great. The whole show was really good.
It was.
Dude, Cameron's Weekend Update was really funny. It was streamed live to Vimeo, and it's dropped. It's there on Vimeo. I don't really know how to search for it, but the whole thing is there. Lust killed it. David Nim did a new version of the Thanksgiving song by Adam Sandler. It kind of had an emo-y kind of a vibe to it.
Kate and I watched the entire stream as soon as we got home. Because I was like, it was one of those things where, like, I was hyped up. In my panic, I drank an energy drink, which I never hardly drink. And then I drank a second one when I got to the speakeasy because, you know, a little past my bedtime.
Yeah.
So I drank 2 energy drinks and I was like,
wired.
I could hear electricity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we got home, we watched the entire thing, and I was expecting, like, when our skit came on, I was expecting to cringe. But I just kind of, I did that face, okay, not bad. Yeah.
For what we could do, I mean, the entire show is, I mean, that's how all his art shows are. They're not thrown together last minute, but it's like day of, you don't know what you're going to expect. It's just going to be that. Especially, they've never done anything like this before.
I would say it was their grandest, their most grand attempt. And they pulled it off. Everybody did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect going in. Then when I got there, seeing how they set everything up, it's like, okay, this is how we're doing it. And it wasn't last minute. It was the best we can do. The whole production for what we had and for the environment we were in. We couldn't, like, build, you know, ornate sets.
Yeah,
we just kind of had to deal with what you could deal with. Yeah. And I think it turned out really well.
I will say big props to the showrunner. I forget her name. I'm sorry, but dude, she was, like, working her ass off. Yeah. And, like, for our skit, she even put up like a plant and like it looked good.
She made, like, a fake wood backdrop.
Yeah.
And, like, it was neat.
It was really awesome. So thanks, James and Mike and Speakeasy and everybody involved. That was not only a great performance, but a great learning experience. And Josh, I want to thank you for making me stick to it. And we did it, man. It was great.
Thank you for agreeing to do it.
Absolutely.
In the first place.
Absolutely.
It was fun. I'm glad we did that. So maybe, you know, now that we know we got the chops, maybe we can do some more sketches.
I'm going down to 30 Rock and trying out, bro.
Oh. Did you have that dream as a kid to be on SNL?
100%. So speaking of SNL, and I know we talked about SNL last week, but we're just going to keep this train rolling. I loved 90s SNL. Like, I'm talking that classic lineup of Myers, Carvey, Sandler, McDonald, Spade, Chris Rock, Chris Farley. I mean, dude, that was like, I know they say the golden years were like the 70s or early 80s, but man, you like what you grew up with, and I loved 90s SNL.
Well, it's because of that 90s SNL that when we grew up there, they didn't really show old SNL a lot. So all you got was what you had. And then, you know, when they started putting out, like, VHS collections of SNL, that's when I started seeing, like, the Land Shark and, you know, the Cheeseburger, like, all those sketches. Like, it was always been funny. I mean, there were a couple of seasons back in the 80s that were garbage.
And in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
But yeah, I think it's because of SNL, like, and watching, like I said, we would watch it every Saturday night as a family. And, dude, I was probably, like 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
Up. Watching that, and, like, that's what formed my comedic my sense of humor, I guess, is watching all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I always want, I mean, obviously being a chubby kid, like I wanted to be Chris Farley. Like I always dreamed of being on SNL, but being so fucking afraid of live performances.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? That's like the ultimate live experience. Is
totally, man. When I was in junior high and even in high school, it was kind of the funny thing to do to like make fun of the drama kids. But honestly, man, secretly, I wanted to be one.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the fucking stones to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish I would have.
I joined drama my senior year because my girlfriend was in it and she wanted me to join. So I did. And I got the lead part in the play that year. Like,
hell yeah.
But it was fun, man. I really enjoyed doing. I mean, we did like for show choir or choir, we would always do like musicals and stuff like that. So it's kind of acting,
right?
But yeah, it's like in the energy, like I would look up anything I could, like if anything I could find on SNL, like behind the scenes stuff or whatever, like just to see what it's like.
And that was like before YouTube, so you really had to dig
for it. It was usually on like some VHS thing that shows like a best of,
or maybe a book or something. And just eat it up. Well, that brings us to our weekly question. We've been doing these again the last few weeks, and I gotta say, the response has been awesome.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate anybody who takes the time to smash their digits into their phone screen or their keyboard and send us a response. It's fun. And this week's question was, what is your favorite SNL sketch / character? And, we put these on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And to read the replies coming in is really fun because there were a lot that I forgot about.
Yeah. And a lot of them, people said like the same kind of sketches. So there's some that just resonated with people, you know?
Yeah. And I wanted to read a few if that's cool. So we'll start out with our friend Disco Cisco. He says, all the 90s classics are undeniable. For newer stuff, any episode of What's Up With That, Weekend Update meteorologist Dawn Lazarus, and Career Day with Adam Driver as a crazy old man. Now, I'm not as familiar with new SNL. I do watch it from time to time, but I don't watch it every week like I did religiously as a kid.
Yeah.
But those are all great choices, and I'm gonna have to. I mean, I love the new Weekend Update guys. I think they play really well together. It's written very well. I dig it.
I may too.
So that's great. And then also we have a twofer, and I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's Ray of Burlesque or Raio RAIOF Burlesque. Close Encounters with Kate McKinnon, both part 1 and 2.
Oh.
Especially the part with Ryan Gosling breaking character. And then also, oh shit, they've got another shlew called Paranormal Occurrence. So I'm not familiar with that one, but I might have to YouTube it now.
Yeah, those. I mean, I love those Kate McKinnon ones. I think Kate McKinnon's probably my favorite on the newer seasons of SNL. She fucking kills it.
Yeah.
So on Facebook, we've got from Roman Wilkinson, friend of the show, Main Justice. You've seen the Main Justice ones?
I don't think so.
It's a courtroom called Main Justice because it's based in Maine, but they were the whole crew was transported from New Orleans after Katrina.
Oh.
So they all talk in these kind of accents.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's so good.
That is a good one.
What else do we have? Ashley Carmen, Twitchell, the puppet class with those are so great.
Yeah.
I love those.
Well, that's the thing, man. You know, I know SNL can be hit or miss these days, but when it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah, the Bill Hader, dude, anything Bill Hader does is great.
He's wonderful. Jumping back over to Instagram, we got at Zen Queen, XENQUEEN. Lunch Lady Land is up there.
Oh, dude.
You cannot deny the classics. And Lunch Lady, everything from the way Farley was dressed in it to Adam Sandler rocking that Les Paul with the headset mic and the leather jacket.
Dude, and you have fucking, oh, Jesus. He used to do Weekend Update, not Norm Macdonald.
Kevin Nealon?
Kevin Nealon dressed up as the piece of pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Actually, to talk about the SNL art show, Andy, the chef up at Speakeasy, was like, I'm kind of pissed that no one did a Lunch Lady Land sketch and had me in. I was like, dude, that would have been fucking genius.
Maybe next time.
Next
season.
Back to Facebook. Brad Yankee, previous guest, friend of the show, The Big Red commercial, a toy Viking that spins around spraying blood out of its horns. Big Red. Dude, the old SNL commercial parodies.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, they don't do commercial parodies as much anymore.
Hardly.
That was my favorite thing.
Totally. Jumping back over to Instagram, we've got @MollyKillers, longtime listener of the show. Thank you, Molly. She says, hands down, the best character in my opinion was Stefan. The combination of John Mulaney's writing and Bill Hader's acting was just perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of my favorite sketches, the Barry Gibb talk show. It's so stupid, but I love it so much. So much so, in fact, my family to this day still quotes it to each other on a fairly regular basis.
Oh, me and old Chris Van Dyne, anytime we see each other, talking it up on a better hand,
it's good.
It's so great.
I love Jimmy Fallon on SNL. Like I don't really love late night that much. It's cool. I respect it, but I don't watch it a lot, you know.
Right.
But he was so great on there.
Well, I think it was that sketch. Did that predate Dick in a Box?
I'm not sure.
Because Timberlake at some point just became this fucking super hilarious guy. And I don't know when that happened.
Right.
But it was like the Barry Gibb talk show, Dick in a Box, Omeleteville, the Omeleteville sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
those were great.
Those are all great. And then finally on Facebook, we've got Richard Waltemath? Will Forte trick-or-treating, being forced to get signatures because he's a pedophile. His neighbor is John Hamm. Something about Will Forte cracks me up in this. I don't know. I just find it hilarious.
Will Forte is great.
I fucking love Will Forte.
I've got a couple more over here, and then we'll wrap it up. @Crane Wife Thrift. The Chris Matthews hardball sketch where he talks to Harry Belafonte, Tracy Morgan, and he says weird stuff like, the poodle is the black man of the dog world. Dude, Tracy Morgan, another badass, man.
Yeah.
So good. We talked about him last week. Also, got the Dianosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Zagat's. Massive head wound Harry. Hyper Hypo where he eats the chocolate bar. The French Chef and Chippendales. Dude, all of those are great choices.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I married that lady.
For her SNL choices?
When she showed those to me, I'm like, that's exactly what I would say. So much so that there's a piece of artwork. So there's art for sale. It was all SNL themed. It's all local artists kind of made their own little pieces. Mm-hmm. And there was one that was kind of what size do you say that was? Like
your classic 8.5 by 11?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger.
11. Glass with it looked pretty like 2004, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Chris Farley and Adam Sandler as Beverly and something Gelfand, the Zagat's. And it said, ravioli, holy cannoli. I'm like, I gotta fucking buy that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Ravioli, holy cannoli.
Dude, that skit was so great because Adam Sandler tried not to break character. And you could tell he was like one breath away from losing it. So great. And Chris Farley was just the best.
So
man.
Good.
The GOAT. I mean, we have a ton of responses here, so I'm not going to be able to read all of them. But @Leg Drop Soup, The Census Taker with Tim Meadows and Christopher Walken.
Oh,
so good.
So good.
We have Mr. Corwin, Office Patriotism, Will Ferrell, and The Continental and Lazy Sunday.
So
we got a lot of Hurley Boy, a lot of Zagat's, all great choices.
Hurley Boy was genius. But yeah, I mean, anytime you put Farley and Sandler in a sketch together, you're guaranteed to have it. Like we talked about it a long time ago on the podcast. The fucking Pepper Boy sketch.
Oh, man.
Farley wasn't even supposed to be in that sketch.
My dad still says that to me. Like, if I go eat dinner at my dad's, if I'll be like, hey, could you pass the pepper? Or he'll ask me to pass the pepper, I'll hand it to him, and he'll be like, the perfect amount of pepper. But, he always gets the voice wrong.
Right.
Or he'll go, thank you, Pepper Boy. And I'm like, dude, that was like 25 years ago.
That's how fucking great it is.
It's that staying power, baby. Also, @Landon Vaughn, again, another vote for Zagat's. He said he loved Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. Great. I quoted that for so long. Even the theme song. He used to be a caveman, and now he's a lawyer. Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. So good.
Dude, that would be the one that we would quote as little kids on Sunday morning in Bible school, like in your little Bible school class.
Yeah.
We always, I'm just a caveman. Like, that was our favorite thing.
So good. He also said Gap Girls again.
Oh, Gap Girls, great.
Classic Farley.
You just sent it.
So good. And yeah, we have a ton more. If you want to read them, go to our Instagram and check them out. And what I love about this particular post, it was the first time that people were commenting on other people's.
Yeah.
So you know what? We're just bringing people together.
That's what we're here for, man.
One show at a time.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, this one's over.
It's done?
It's done, man.
We done?
We done.
All right.
I want to thank you all for listening, and thank you to those who came out to the SNL thing. I know, we kind of, we advertised it on our social media, and it was nice to see some friendly faces out there, and I hope we can do it again. Like I said earlier, we proved it to ourselves to just stick with it. Stay with it. Do it. You're going to feel great about it, and who knows, maybe you'll see me on Weekend Update. I'd love to host some Weekend Update. Would
that be what you would have done if you wanted to, like, did you ever think about that? Like, when you were, like, dreaming about being on SNL, did you have, like, a thing that you would want to do?
Yeah, Weekend Update was by far number one.
Was it because of Norm Macdonald, Kevin Nealon, or Dennis Miller?
It started with Dennis Miller. Man.
Yeah.
I loved that.
So Dennis Miller did the, and I am out of here. Where he'd draw the spiral and throw it.
Yep, he'd draw the big circles on his paper and throw it in.
And Kevin Nealon was, I'm Kevin Nealon, and that's news to me.
Mm-hmm.
What was Norm Macdonald's out?
I don't remember.
I know his intro was like, I'm Norm Macdonald, and now the fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, it's a term now. But yeah, thank you all for listening.
Thank
Josh,
you guys.
Thanks for sitting down with me tonight, brother.
Hey, man, thank you, brother.
It was fun, brother.
It was good fun.
I'll see you next week, brother.
Bye.